over at our place a lot of the times, helping me cut wood. And you may or may not also know that he's a paper boy for our local.
Mom and David, get Mom to turn around. Hi.
Is this a movie?
Yep.
Oh, hi.
You're finding the bread? Oh, yum. Oh, boy.
Come on, you guys. I've counted.
David, look at them all right there.
21.
I thought there were 21.
No, didn't see you.
Fun.
It is. Hey guys, look at all the bread.
We're having a great holiday. Aren't we, Eric?
Right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Sleep all night, sleep all day. Wonderful, wonderful weather.
Yeah.
Fishing in the rain.
Hey.
I'll tell you.
Oh, boy. Hi there.
Huh.
It's cleared right up.
Yeah. That blue sky we had earlier was.
Last week,
Yeah.
before we came up. Oh, they loved it. Woke Davy up. What are you doing?
Getting water?
Oh, boy.
I need my painting clothes, Rosa.
Yes, you are. I could get a
Yep.
scan the workshop.
Oh, God.
Well, I've got a couple of ones put in, but I'm looking for something for here now, bent the wrong way.
Yeah. We'll get them tonight when they strike out in the canoe at dark. Uh-huh.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been taking pictures of them?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
You're welcome, Caroline. Let's see your stuff.
We'll find out how truly Canadian they are.
That's true, we will. Poor Robin up above my head's having a fit. Because I'm taking it from up here? Yep. Wonder where Art learned how to canoe.
They did it up at Amic when we were at September camp, if you remember. He and Chris in the bay there, paddling. And then he did a lot up there at the other cottage, Morrissey's cottage.
Oh, did he?
He took me into that bay, you know, where all those water lilies were, pictures of it.
At the Morris's cottage? Never.
Yes.
I was never there.
Oh, well, didn't miss too much.
No?
No, it was a small lake. And there's nothing clear like that. I know that when
Oh my. Hello. Looks like we're going to have a fire tonight.
when I go up to the Whitakers, I'll have to take shoes to go in the water. You cut your feet on the seat valve.
Out of Cottage E also. And back to C. Whoops. What's the date, Mom?
Today
Yeah.
is 6,
August 5.
5.
Year 2000.
Yeah.
And we're in Cottage C. And you've got the little photograph book there.
Yes.
We're going to move the maple syrup container so that it's not the main event. There we go.
Well, I was expecting you to sit beside me and I'll show you it all.
Yeah.
Here's Aunt Emmy.
Now, let me see her. And who was she?
Ernst and Mookie's
Missy.
mother.
Okay, but,
It's Mookie.
okay, hold on a sec.
Mom's mother's
No, it's my father's
father's
cousin.
sister.
Father's cousin.
Cousin.
Actually, her mother was my father's cousin.
Oh boy. Okay.
She was a very beautiful woman. That's her daughter, Ernst's sister.
Okay.
That,
Did she just have 2 children?
yes. This is
Hold that up a bit, would you, Mom, please, so I can read?
Aunt Anna, my mother's older sister.
Okay. Did you like her?
No,
Why not?
she always had it in for me. She spanked me.
Oh dear.
She didn't have any children.
Mm-hmm.
She is the one that adopted Helly.
And why did she adopt Helly, and who was Helly again?
Helly was my mother's younger sister's child who died in childbirth. And her husband had died before she was born from he had a abscess on the lung or something.
Oh dear.
So that Aunt Anna and Uncle Tony adopted Helly as a baby because they never had any children. And then 10 years later, they had Kiki,
And Kiki,
is Aunt Anna's daughter.
and Helly's
Helly's
cousin, basically,
yes.
but grew up
She's
as
the one that
sisters.
lives in Israel.
Yes,
Kiki.
and they grew up as sisters, and Anna never ever told Helly that she was adopted. That she wasn't her child.
But didn't she find out eventually?
Oh yes.
And how did she find that out?
Well, it was because some people from Linz moved to Israel, and they started talking about Helly's father and mother to her. And they told her that that's how she found out.
Wow.
And when she and her husband came to visit me in Brampton, I had a picture similar to this of her mother, and they gave it to her. That's
She
the
would have
first-
been thrilled.
She was. It's the first time she ever set eyes on her mother.
Oh dear.
Mm-hmm. I was
How
going,
did you have a picture of her mother?
how do I have this one? Let's see, well, I thought I had one of my grandfather too. Here's Aunt Anna and Uncle Tony.
Can you hold it up, Mom, a little
It was
bit?
very small.
I know, but I can zoom
That's
in
her
on it.
dad. He was tall, blue-eyed, and blonde. And that's Aunt Anna. This is Walter, and that's myself with Aunt Anna's dog, Pussy. And this is my mother.
Did they really want a cat?
I think so.
Yeah.
And this is my mother's younger brother, Max.
Oh, now tell us about, and who's the guy in the end, on the far
These
end?
are people who, he and his mother were visiting from New York.
Does he have an armband on?
Yes,
What's that?
that's when somebody died.
Oh, okay.
But
Okay.
Max,
Tell us about Max. Wasn't he a bit of a
Yes, he was.
Character?
He was married 3 times. I never knew him to have a proper job. And he had gorgeous women. He had a car. I don't know how he got all these. One of his wives was a tall blonde. She was a concert pianist. She had lots of money. He had a car. He was a no good.
So what, was he a Fogelfinger?
Yes, he was my mother's youngest brother.
Okay, and what
Okay,
other
let's-
siblings did
let's-
she
yeah.
have? Sorry,
Let's
Carolyn.
She had
Exactly
an
my
older
question.
brother,
And what was his name and what was his story?
Gustav.
Okay. Was he the oldest of the group?
Yes, he was.
Okay.
Gustav and then Anna. I have some more pictures somewhere else.
Okay.
So there's Gustav and then Anna.
Anna, then my mother, then Helene, but there was another daughter. She died when she was a child.
What was your mother's full name?
Erna?
Gisela Erna
Gisela Erna.
Erna.
Fogelfinger.
And Uncle Gustav's daughter, Erna,
Uncle Gustav being,
the oldest brother,
Right.
Gustav. She's still supposed to be alive as far as I know and living in Vienna. And Kiki and I were going to find out if they can trace her. And she got married and had children.
so what's her name?
Well, Erna Fogelfinger, I don't know her married name, or if she was ever married.
Okay.
She was a year older than Helly. Now this is Annie and my brother Walter, myself.
Oh, nice picture, Mom.
That's, well, she was really my substitute mother.
Well, yeah, she
Tell us-
taught you to cook and she taught you to sew and she taught you a lot of things.
That glass, she made this herself,
Wow.
and she made my dress.
Wonderful picture.
I've never seen it. Can you just tell us about Annie again, the story about...
Annie came to us as a maid
That's beautiful.
when I was 6 years old,
Okay.
and she was
To Bodkestein?
no, Linz.
Oh, Linz, okay.
She carried the coal or the coke out from the basement, the whole flight of stairs for our heat. She went shopping, she did the cooking. She taught me how to turn a heel on a knitting.
Sock?
Yeah, she helped me with the sewing. And when I had any problems, that's where I went, not to my mother.
And I noticed that you spell Annie A-N-N-I.
Yeah,
What was her last name, do you know?
Anna Gärtner.
G-A umlaut
Gärtner.
R-N-T-N-E-R.
And Walter and Trude was this Kubasta.
Okay,
This
so,
is the German script.
No kidding.
okay, let's, okay,
It doesn't look quite, and it's on a postcard format, Roz, look.
the photo.
Yeah, isn't that wonderful? I was looking for a date, actually.
I think
Well,
that
When
was,
would you have been there, Mom, do you think? 10?
10, yeah.
Yeah.
and
9
Uncle
and
Walter
10.
was 11. Okay, and you said she was a country girl.
Oh, very much so. She took us to her one Easter when I was in my early teens, and I had 3 horrible warts on my hand here. One here, I can still feel it when I touch it. And you know how we in Austria always
Everybody shakes.
hands, and I was so conscious of it. So that time we went, she took us home over the Easter holiday, Easter weekend. And her mother was alive, and her father, and her sister Maisie was there, although she was a maid in Linz also. That was her only sibling. And I was complaining about these warts. And her mother said, well, here's a dime, go around the corner and get to this man. There were a little village, you know, little huts and gardens and things. And ask him to wind.
Yeah.
Them away.
Yeah. So I thought it was ridiculous, but
Oh,
I did, and he
that's-
wasn't even there. His wife opened the door, and I
that's-
said, I've leave these 3 warts, would he wind my warts? She said, she took the money, there was lots of money, this was big money in those days. And away I went back. I was in high school then, playing basketball outdoors, and then I was having a shower and I grabbed my hand and all 3 warts fell out. I couldn't believe it. Yeah. So,
Okay, so is that the whole rundown of your mother's siblings?
yes.
Okay.
There was a girl, I've only ever saw a picture of her She was no more than about 4 years old when she died, but she had the thickest curls. My mother used to tell me that they couldn't comb her hair. She had such curly hair.
And can you tell us about your mother's parents? And tell us the truth? How you really felt about them?
I adored my grandfather.
Why was that?
He was always nice and kind. I
What
remember
was his name?
Nicholas
Nicholas?
Fogelfinger.
Mm-hmm.
And
He had siblings, I suppose?
he had a brother in Paris. My mother used to write to him, even after she came to England, she was in touch with him. And then,
Her uncle. Okay.
yes, and then the Nazis came, and that was the end of the contact.
Where did your mom's father come from?
He was Austrian.
He was Austrian, but your mom wasn't born in Austria.
She was born in Yugoslavia, but at that time Yugoslavia was part of Austria. So was
Okay.
northern Italy, like Trieste, where my father was. I still have letters from my mother and father from that time.
We'll get into that.
We won't be throwing those out.
No,
No, but
I
we
gave
wouldn't
some,
understand them because it'd be in
I
German.
gave some to
so-
Dietmar. Not many, but some. And I have the others. And my father wanted to join up in the army, in the Navy, in the Austrian Navy. And that's why he knew how to swim, how to teach me. You couldn't join the Navy in those days if you couldn't swim. And
That makes sense.
Oh, yeah.
No boating if you can't swim.
yeah. So anyway, he wanted to join, and it was the emperor himself said that no, he had to stay and design these engines for the U-boats, which he did. And he
Because he was an engineer.
yes, he was a diesel engineer, and I have a picture of him when he graduated, keen and all this stuff.
Nice.
And he was sent to Trieste, where the big congregation of boats, and there was a big factory. He supervised that, and he hated it. He hated the Italians.
He told you all this.
Yes, he told me that because they were so lazy, he couldn't get them to work, and they were deceitful. And, oh, he was really down on them. And that showed,
On all of them because of
well,
his...
as a nation, I think, because
Isn't that too bad?
it showed in the end, they were, the Italians were with Austria, you know, in the First World War, and then they turned on Austria and attacked, they joined the enemy, France or what have you, and that was one of the reasons Austria lost. And that's how Austria lost the whole of northern Italy.
That's right, yeah.
And but there's still a lot of people in northern Italy who speak German. A lot of Austrians go down there for holidays. And that was, you know, they made Austria into such a small country they couldn't survive. The only real trade we had was tourist trade. There is an ore mine in Austria, and my mother wanted my father to invest his money in that, and he wouldn't. They were always at odds. When she said A, he said B.
Huh, sounds familiar.
And
It wouldn't be like you and Dad. Mom, I want to hear about how your parents met. Where?
my mother was a secretary,
Where?
I guess at the Schiffswerft, which was the name of the place.
In?
The Navy docks.
And he was the
Navy.
engineer.
The Navy.
Aha! The plot thickens.
Yeah, and that's all I really know.
And there
Okay.
was how much?
But my mother didn't love him. She loved another guy. I have a picture of her with him.
Yeah, but he was previously married, so...
My father was.
Was he married when they met?
I don't think so. He was a widower. And
And had children by that first marriage?
child, as one son, and he died. That's all I know about that.
You didn't know him?
No.
You don't know how either one of them died?
No, it died. This boy died as a baby.
Uh-huh.
And I they would never tell me how she died, and I didn't go pursue it. At that age, you
No.
don't really.
No, you don't.
And I always had the feeling there was something odd about it, but I could never
put your finger on it.
No,
Okay.
So how much later did he marry your mother?
that I don't know, but I can tell you that he was 40 or 41 when he married my mother, and she was 21.
And what year were they married?
1915.
15. And you were born in, yes.
And
okay. Walter was born in 17 and you were born in 18.
18.
Right.
I wasn't meant to be born.
No, I know.
I was a mistake. Well, she thought she couldn't conceive
She was nursing.
when she was nursing a baby, and she did. And then 10 years later, almost 10 years later, John came along.
Okay, so back to your parents and to their heritage and how all that happened and so on,
Well-
where they got married and...
Your mother's parents came from where?
I know that her mother came from Poland.
And what was her mother's maiden name, do you know?
Zimmerman, Elizabeth Zimmerman.
With a Z.
Yeah.
Yeah, and double N. I don't know if it's double N as well. However,
Zimmermann.
there's a picture
Oh,
here.
let's see.
This is a wonderful little farm.
This is
Well,
the house I
said to
was.
Mom, bring it, hold it up, Mom. So
This
I can
is
see.
when I was in Poland.
Oh, isn't that
Yeah,
fabulous?
but we're not in Poland right now. Oh,
No.
well. We'll just have this little aside.
But her
That's rather
parent,
nice.
her mother was
Yeah.
Polish. Like your great-grandmother,
Yeah.
your grandmother on
Jewish
your mom's
Polish.
on
Yeah.
your mother's side.
Yeah.
Jewish Polish, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
now what are we looking
There's
for
Lisa
here?
Lawton, her mother, and her child.
Back a bit to your mother's.
That's my mother.
Okay, let me see if I can focus
That's
this.
her
thing.
passport picture. if
Yes,
you
it
will.
is.
Where's it? When she went, hold it up, Mom, a little bit, please, so I can. What are the other pictures there?
That's your mother.
That's
That would
Trudy
be
and
you?
Lintz in 38.
Yeah, and here's my mother with the boy. This is a very poor picture. That she looked after and some people she got to know.
Where was that?
That was in Virginia Water,
Okay.
England. This
Who
is-
wrote in that book?
I did.
Oh, okay.
Was better than.
I can't really
dear.
see what that
No,
picture
you can't. This
What
is-
are the others?
This is my mother
These are in England,
in
right?
Yeah.
England. That's Uncle John and my mother.
And what does that say?
Moody John and little. I don't know. She looked after him.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
Little boy, it says.
So-
Here's my mother. This is her cousin Rella. She was the opera singer. She was her mother's
Let's tip it up a little bit.
older
Mom, thank you.
brother-daughter.
Sorry, what was that
Your
again?
mother's older brother's daughter.
Zimmerman, Aurelia Zimmerman.
So that's Gustav.
No,
No, that was your dad's.
she was my mother's cousin.
Okay.
No,
gotcha.
Gustav
Gustav was the
her
older
brother.
brother. Well, I
Yeah.
thought when you said her brother's, her
old-
brother's.
Grandmother's older brother's
Oh, sorry.
daughter.
Okay, I thought you meant your mother's.
Yeah.
What's that glorious picture with the umbrella?
My mother and
Yeah,
I,
but where and why?
in Bodkestan, I don't know, the stupid guy, Yanni, here he is. He was the organist in our church.
Why was he stupid?
He was always there. He's trying to learn the Austrian dialect because when we spoke dialect,
Oh.
he was from Potsdam. I've been there.
And what was he doing in
He was
Bodkestein?
playing the organ in the Lutheran church.
Okay, now where were we back to your parents?
Yes.
I'd like to finish
Your
that.
mom's
We're
mother's.
jumping all over.
Yeah, my mother's family. There's Uncle Ludwig and Uncle Emil. They were brothers. They were in Linz.
And older than she, your mom.
One was older, the other one was younger.
Okay.
They both had lots of money, and I think the Nazis got it all.
And they stayed Jewish?
Yes.
But didn't they marry Gentiles?
My mother's siblings did. These are my grandmothers.
Oh, right, sorry, your uncles.
Yes.
Okay.
And aunts.
And they stayed Jewish, and where did they live? Did they go?
Uncle Ludwig lived with a woman, and they built a house outside Linz. They had chickens. It was a beautiful house. And he was he had a small store, and people were buying on time, so much a month. That's how poor the
Yikes,
people
I'm
were
all
in
out of
Austria.
focus here.
And
I don't know what's happening.
I worked in his office, which was just a little balcony up above the store. Just when I was waiting, after I came back from Poland, and he was the father of the opera singer,
Okay.
and her.
Retta.
Yeah, well, no, Rella.
Rella, sorry.
And her mother died when she was quite young. She had flaming red hair and skin like milk. And my mother you'd tell me that her mother used to bathe her in milk when she was a baby.
That'd do it.
I
Yep.
prefer chocolate milk myself.
So
Tan going?
she sang Elsa in Lohengrin, the first opera I ever saw.
Wow. Okay. I don't want to run out of film before we get through
No.
all the players here, so.
Who do we need?
Okay, well, no, we're talking about your mother's heritage, and I'd like to hear the story about your mother being Jewish and your father being Catholic, and how they couldn't get married in either church.
They couldn't get married in a synagogue or in a Roman Catholic church, so they both turned Lutheran.
Right, and how did your maternal grandmother and grandfather feel about all that?
Not very well,
Right,
but you see, there were so many mixed marriages at the time
right,
that it wasn't unusual.
right.
The one that Gustav married was a Roman Catholic. All the women that Max married were Roman Catholics.
All of them. I love it.
Uncle Tony and Anna's husband was a Roman Catholic, Toman, you know.
Yeah,
And the one that Helene married was also Roman Catholic.
okay, so none of them married a Jew.
No.
Okay,
And my father's sister married a Jew.
but she was Catholic.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So that's how it goes.
I want you to tell a little story about your grandparents and when the Nazis came and hiding Uncle Walter.
Oh, this was, the Nazis came, see,
Now we're jumping a war here.
Yeah, and
No.
I'm running out of film,
but
probably, so.
they lived in a nice big apartment in Linz, right? And all the big apartments had to be vacated for the officers of the German army that came in. So that's, my father went out into the castle there up the Danube, and all the Jews had to go to Vienna. They sort of herded together for convenience. And Uncle Walter told me this. You know, they had the wardrobes, which didn't have closets.
Right.
And they were upstairs, and he went to see them in Vienna, and they were in a little
This was your
room.
mother's parents.
Yeah,
Yeah.
an apartment. And they heard the boots coming up the stairs, the heavy boots, you know. A special sound. And my grandmother quickly put Walter in the wardrobe. And he was in that wardrobe when they came in to take them away.
To Auschwitz.
Yeah. I never seen them again. And I know they were in Auschwitz. I know that. I know that through Heli.
Yeah, I wonder how she found out.
Well, there are all kinds of people that survived and
Oh,
gone
who
to
said
Israel.
your parents were
Yeah.
there, or your
And
grandparents.
they knew other people there.
Yeah, and you told me many times, and Caroline, that your grandmother didn't like you and you didn't like her.
It's a Jewish thing that the boys are important. I was just the gopher, so to speak. And Walter was,
He could do no wrong.
that's right,
And you took the rap for him. But was
Every
this your
time.
grandmother giving you the rap or your own mother?
all of them. And Anna. I think she actually delighted in doing this to me, because I remember when I was 6 years old, my mother having not been well. She was at she went to Italy on a tour sort of thing.
Yeah, she had heart problems or something.
Yes, but she'd had rheumatic fever, and she had frail health. And so we were sent up to the mountains, and that house belonged to Uncle Hans and Aunt Sophie, but my mother had free run of it. And we were sent up there, and Aunt Anna came to look after us. Now, this was before John and Ellie.
And can you tell me again, Aunt Anna had a child, but must
No,
have...
not
Oh,
then.
she never... Oh,
Not
okay, okay.
She
And
didn't-
when she did she have a boy or a girl?
Ellie, she had
A girl, okay, so maybe she changed her tune. Okay.
Yeah, she might have. Although she never told Helly that she wasn't her daughter, which
No.
was not right.
No.
But anyway, I was having difficulties with reading. I remember reading and spelling and things. I was in public school. And she made me sit and read and spell and write things out. Had to learn out of that book while Walter was out playing. So one day, I got smart, I hid the book.